my eyes. I went to bed asleep with my f***ing eyes open. That's how locked in I am.
Philadelphia Eagles are world champions.
Hey, got it! Yeah!
Let's go, Phillies! Woo! KJ and I out here.
You are now listening to the Appreciate Your Input podcast with host Dalton Holland. A proud 302 Birds podcast experience. Now let's take it to the show.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday night. Welcome to the Appreciate Your Input podcast. Tonight, we are diving into Eagles rookie comparisons like Pokemon evolutions, arguing over uniforms like it's Fashion Week in Fishtown. Jesus Christ, I don't know what that would look like. And wondering what the Phillies would do if they finally decide to get it together. I know they've won 4 out of their last 5 series, but it still feels like this team is mediocre. So grab a slice of pizza from Nick's Pizza and let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? Once again, thanks for joining me on this fabulous Sunday night. Hope you guys are doing well. Diving into our first topic, I believe Mikey D should be coming on. I don't know if he's going to be, but this is actually a list that I wanted to compile together and make. And that's actually what the wheel of the night is. I'm going to spin it and we'll see. But it's actually debating who is the best Philly sports athlete of all time to not win a trophy. Let me know in the comments who you guys got. I'm pretty interested to hear, but it should be a pretty fun debate. So I'm going to count down from number 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, so on and so forth. My top 3, I have a photo for so that everyone is not confused. But real quick, I'm just going to read off the list and then I'm going to go a little bit more in depth and explain why. Number 5 of my best players in Philadelphia sports history to never win a trophy is Donovan Puke on the field at halftime, McNabb. Number 4, all my best players in Philadelphia sports history to not win a trophy, Eric Lindros. Number 3, Charles Barkley. Number 2, Brian Dawkins. And number 1, Allen Iverson. I know that one may be a little bit of a shock to some people. I'm interested to hear why. But number 5, once again, for me is Donovan McNabb. Number 4 is Eric Lindros. Number 3 is Charles Barkley. Number 2 is Brian Dawkins. And number 1 is Allen Iverson. Yes, guys, Allen Iverson is who I got in there. Let me know what you guys agree with and disagree with why in the comments. But let's go ahead and break it down. So number 5, I got Donovan McNabb. I honestly had a couple honorable mentions too. And Randall Cunningham was a really close choice for me. But I feel like in their Philly sports career, you could argue Donovan McNabb has accomplished more. He's definitely been to more NFC championships, I'll say. I don't know that Randall was in any Super Bowls. I don't believe he was, at least not in Philadelphia that I can remember. And McNabb had been in one. He'd been in multiple NFC championships. He had won an NFC championship. It really felt like McNabb elevated the Eagles in a time when they needed to be elevated. So that's why I got to have Donovan McNabb on that list at number 5. My honorable mentions, once again, were Randall Cunningham, Joel Embiid, and Claude Giroux. I think that one will be happy with a lot of people. But number 4, I don't know much about Lindros personally, but I do know that he was one of the greatest Philly sports athletes of all time. So I got to put him at number 4 on that list. I got to give him some love. I mean, when you want to talk about all-time great Flyers, he's definitely up there. I debated once again with Giroux just because that's who I watched a lot as a kid. But Lindros, no doubt, I mean, has to be your answer right there. So number 3. Number 3. There you go. I got it right this time. Number 3 for me is Charles Barkley, no doubt. I mean, first off, look at the uniform. Just an iconic Philly sports uniform, in my opinion, something that we all recognize, we all know him as. But seriously, this dude Sir Charles is one of the most iconic Philly sports athletes of all time, on and off the court. What he brings to the table is unquestionable. So I just really like Barkley on this list. And I feel like if you told me that Barkley didn't get a trophy, I kind of would have been surprised. I was actually a little bit shocked to see him on this list. I thought that he was on the 1982 team. I guess that he wasn't, but we'll see. We'll see. So, KJ, if you want to hop in here for this segment, let me know. I would love to hear your Charles Barkley impression, I was going to say, because I know KJ had actually served Charles Barkley at Bed Bath & Beyond, guys. That's a pretty funny story as well. But Charles Barkley, no doubt, number 3. Number 2 for me, and this almost was number 1, was Brian Dawkins. If you want to talk about a player that over-committed and the organization under-delivered, I would say Brian Dawkins is on that list. And look, the Eagles are an organization that I speak really high of a lot. I mean, a team that I really respect, a team that I really love. And I feel like with Brian Dawkins, when they traded him, number 1, and number 2, the way that they handled his career and the organization as a whole, they didn't really know what they were doing yet. For God's sake, they didn't have either of these bad boys, either of the Super Bowl rings. So looking back on it, I would say Brian Dawkins was such a talented Philadelphia Eagle. And look, some of you guys will be like, well, what about Reggie White? Reggie White, I believe, won a trophy with the Packers. So the key here is guys that didn't win a championship at all in their career. Brian Dawkins is my number 2. And then number 1, last but not least, somebody who I think had made the Sixers uniform the most iconic uniform of all time for the time that it was, in Allen Iverson. I mean, Allen Iverson was such an underdog story that this city bought into as well. Like, everybody loved Allen Iverson when he came out of college because he was Philly. He wasn't even from here, but he stood what we stood for. He was unapologetically authentic, as Jason Kelsey would say. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I said it right. But seriously, he was unapologetically authentic. He was himself at all times, and he didn't care what anybody thought. Obviously, we have seen what that woman did in Delco, taking a dump of Ruski on somebody's car. She's unapologetically authentic too. There's just levels to it, okay? That's my point. But all jokes aside, Allen Iverson always being himself is why I had to say he was the best Philly sport athlete of his time. Also, basketball is a little bit different of a sport. There's only 5 guys on the court at once. And I feel like, in my opinion, Allen Iverson was such an iconic player, not just for the Sixers, but for the NBA as a whole, that it's almost criminal and a crime that he didn't get a championship. There you go, Chaos Chris in the comments letting us know the Delco Deucer. You know it, Chris. But yeah, Allen Iverson, I think, was definitely someone that was snubbed, someone that should have gotten more love. Let's go ahead and bring KJ McCoy on here. Mac, who you got?
What's up? Yeah, I like the list so far. Pretty good list, Dalt. I'm pretty impressed. I like that you got Iverson at the number 1 spot. I think he deserves it for sure. It sucks because with Iverson, he didn't, like, the Sixers really didn't surround him with the right talent. And I think if they got him some supporting cast, some supporting players that were really legit, I think he definitely would have had a championship. But I mean, the player you can really say that was really like that close was probably like Mutombo, but that's about it though. I mean, they really did not really get him anybody else. And that's what really sucks about that. Cause like they could have got some players, they could have got some free agents they could have got back then, but they didn't really make any moves. They really just believed in Iverson, strictly just him. And they just believed in really like making the offense around him, all the plays with him. So, I mean, it made sense. So.
How did you feel about Dawkins on here being number 2? Like, do you have a top 3 list for yourself?
Not exactly, but I do think Dawkins is a great, obviously one of my favorite players as well. Probably my favorite athlete of all time. But he definitely did not get a championship. So it was tough. Obviously, 2005 they lost, but I mean, Dawkins is one of the most feared defensive players of all time. I mean, he was just the way he came out, like, of the tunnel, the way that the way he played. Every game he played like his last, and he was just fierce, and he was just like he just like was almost like he was like, I a monster. He was Wolverine. I mean, that's what he really did. He really came out like Wolverine, and he played like he was the Wolverine. So that was what really caught a lot of Philly fans like attention. I mean, that's why people loved Brian Dawkins. Same with Allen Iverson, same kind of thing. But yeah, I'd probably put Roy Halladay there too. I think you got to go with Roy Halladay. I think Halladay's I mean, it stinks that Halladay was not part of the 08 team. I don't even think he was drafted in 08. I might be wrong. But yeah, so I mean, like it's crazy to think that he wasn't part of that. But then you see him later, obviously, come in a trade with the Blue Jays. I believe he was with the Blue Jays beforehand. And he made an instant change. I mean, he really like instant impact for the Phillies. And I mean, I remember going to that game where he had I think it was the perfect game or the no-hitter. It was one of those. And I went to that game. It was against the Cincinnati Reds. And I believe it was the wild card game. And I just remember it was just like pandemonium. It was insane. The place felt like it was gonna burst. I mean, everyone was just ecstatic, and it was a really cool moment. So I feel like that guy being a champion, being a World Series champion, would have been awesome.
How do you feel about this comment?
So with Embiid, that's
on topic right now for you.
Yeah, it's a tough topic. If you look at it like this, Embiid, when he's healthy, the talent that he has is unmatched. And I mean, the only other guy you can really compare him to is a guy like Jokic. And Jokic has kind of had more of a career. And here's the reason why, though. He hasn't really got injured. He hasn't had the injury bugs that Joel Embiid has had. He hasn't had the bad luck that Joel Embiid has had. So it kind of also gives Joel Embiid kind of like a bad attitude and everything like that with all the injuries going on. He doesn't know who to blame. Sometimes he'll blame teammates. Sometimes he'll blame coaches or whatever. So I think with Embiid, you could probably not put him in the top 5, but I would probably say probably top 10. I just think that there's some more Philly athletes that really deserved a championship. And I think with Embiid, it's just kind of hard to say, especially with the teams that he had around him. And I think it's just like, I don't know. I probably put him like number 7, but I would not put him in the top 5.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll say this about Embiid. He was an honorable mention for me because that MVP run that he had and the year before, my junior year, or I believe it was actually my senior year of college, the year that Jokic won back-to-back MVPs, I think, and we all thought, okay, Embiid kind of deserved it that year. That was a little frustrating for me. So I will say that was when the organization, I felt like, failed Embiid. Now I feel like the organization kind of has their head on somewhat straighter than they did a couple years ago. And now I feel like Embiid is failing the organization. I do. I feel like they're digging themselves out of the hole. Like I feel like at that point they were digging themselves into a hole. Right now I feel like they're slowly digging themselves out of it. And because of that, I would have thought Embiid actually would have had a better attitude, and he doesn't. He hasn't shown any sort of trait like Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Like that kind of leadership. Like a guy that leads his team without you having to ask. Because I think Chris's comment here is really interesting too. What if you could have given AI Embiid? That's fascinating too and really fun to talk about. Yeah, that is
fascinating. That's like, I was thinking of that recently. And I was also thinking of like, oh my gosh, like right now, a player right now in the NBA that is going crazy right now, and a player that everybody respects is Anthony Edwards. And I was just thinking recently, what if Anthony Edwards had Kevin Garnett? And then, I mean, that would have been crazy. So, I mean, but if you think about it too, what if Allen Iverson had Joel Embiid? I think that would be very interesting. I mean, that's also the center that I feel like if you put like the 2001 NBA Finals and you somehow put back prime Embiid, the Joel Embiid that had the MVP season, you might win that series. You might win that series. You might. It's going to be tough because you got Kobe and Shaq, who are one of the best duos in basketball. But Embiid, like prime Embiid, first Shaq would be wild. Exactly. Now, the thing is, too, they even asked Shaq a couple of days. I think they asked him yesterday. They said, what would happen if you and Jokic like matched up? He said Jokic would beat him. So that's the one thing with Shaq. He's the most dominant player of all time. I think, in my opinion, he's the most dominant center of all time. Just the way that he would just bully people. It's the way he played like a football player. And it was just unmatched. And the way he just bullied Mutombo, Matt Geiger, those guys that were in the finals for the Sixers, they were the centers that were on the Sixers, and they were guarding Shaq. They couldn't contain him. He was a beast in the paint, and he was just you could not contain him. But I think with Embiid, he could kind of contain him in his prime, though. Right now, I don't know with the injuries that he has, but in his prime, the MVP Embiid, I think so. And I think that series would go to 7. And I think it would be a jump ball from who would win that series. It would be a jump ball.
Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? We'll see.
So it really is. I mean, I think that's a really good conversation for sure. And it really has me thinking for sure, like, what if that did happen? But unfortunately, it's not a realistic scenario, unfortunately.
Hey, fun to talk about.
It is fun to talk about, though. I do
2K,
love that.
2K players, let us know what happens in a simulation with that. But KJ, I know we got you coming on here later in the show for the uniforms, but I appreciate you jumping on here to talk about.
I do have one more thing to show you, though. This was the photo of me and Charles at Bed Bath & Beyond. So, nice guy. And actually, I've never even shown you this. I actually kept the receipt signed by him.
No way.
Yes, I have the receipt.
So can you give me a quick 20-second, because I know we got to keep it moving. We got the Phillies next, but can you give me a 20-second recap of what that was like for you meeting Charles Barkley?
It was pretty cool. So I actually was hearing from people that work with me. They said, oh, yeah, Charles Barkley comes here. And I'm like, no way. That's not true. And then one day he showed up. And I saw him, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to bother him. But I was at the register, and I was one of the cashiers. And he went in my line, and I was like, oh, my gosh. I was like, don't fangirl. Don't go crazy and whatever. But he was like the most down-to-earth guy. He was humble as heck, and he was like, how's it going, man? How you doing? And I was like, I'm doing great. I was like, I'm doing great, Mr. Barkley. He's like, you don't have to call me Mr. Barkley. I'm Charles, man. I'm not Mr. So he was really cool and polite. I remember one time too, right behind us when he was waiting in line, a guy wanted to get a picture with him, but he's like, don't get a picture of me, get a picture of my baby. So he held the baby like it was from the Lion King or something like that. So he's holding the baby like it was like Simba or something. It was funny. So yeah, he was super cool. And we had this thing back then where he would sign receipts, and they actually stopped that actually a couple months later. But I kept the receipt. And Bed Bath & Beyond is out of business, so they can't get me in trouble or anything like that. So that's why I brought this out of the hiding. So they went out of business.
You might be the reason that Bed Bath & Beyond banned getting receipts signed is because of people like you, Mac.
No one ever found out until now, okay? No one ever found out.
Hey, it doesn't matter now, like you said. But
it was a really cool moment. And if you meet him, don't be scared of him at all. He's such a nice guy. Honestly, one of the nicest former athletes you'll ever meet. And he's the coolest, man. So I really appreciate my time that I met him.
Yeah, well said. Well, thank you for jumping on here for a second. We'll see you in a second for our next segment.
Sounds good.
Oh, sorry, removed the wrong person, but kicking it now to our Phillies segment. So I wanted to bring someone on here that could really get passionate for you guys and talk about slaying the snake. But before I introduce let's see who this landed on. It looks like it landed on Roy Halladay or Brian Dawkins was who the wheel landed on. I'll go back and do a replay later and check it out. But one of those two would be who the Wheel of Wonder said is the best Philly sports athlete to never get a championship. But talking about slaying the snakes, there's nothing I love more than slaying some snakes. I hate snakes personally. But bringing on to the show somebody to get into it. Chaos Chris, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. I mean, still a little bit sick, but I'm getting better. The Phillies are not helping me out, but that's a different story. I'm sure we're going to be a little bit different of opinion here on the Phillies, but I'm interested to hear what you have to say too.
So it's been interesting as well, and I'll let you take it first because The Phillies have won 4 out of their past 5 series, if I'm not mistaken. But yet we still feel that they are mediocre as hell. And I understand the frustration, but why are you frustrated with this team? Why do you feel like they're capable of more?
Well, it just feels like it's the same thing we've seen in the last 2 years. Like they're good, but they're not good enough. Like they're just not stuck in mediocrity, but like stuck as that, wild card team or that, first round of the playoff type team. And there's just not enough emotion out of this team is what I feel like I really see. For example, in today's game, Romuto gets thrown out at third. The third baseman blocks the bag. Innings over. Well, you're not allowed to block the bag. It was reviewed because they originally called Romuto safe. It was reviewed. They called him out. And Thompson, he gets a little animated, but then he just walks back to the dugout. You got to get thrown out of the game there. It was either the 7th or 8th inning. Like, that was a huge moment in that ball game. If Romuto was safe there, you got first and third with 2 outs. There's a chance you score a run there and you win the ball game. So I just feel like he had to get thrown out there. Something had to happen. They need something to spark the team, and maybe him getting thrown out would have changed something, maybe spark something with this team. It just seems like they're all just, sleepwalking. They're just not that excited. Harper hits a home run. Cool, whatever. But, they're not having any fun right now. And I've noticed, at least with the Phillies, when they're not having fun, they're usually not that great of a team. I think you're muted.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They're kind of divas. I agree with you. Like, everyone on this team definitely, when the going is good, it's great, right? Everybody's singing at Xfinity Live. They're having a party, this and that. But when the going's bad, man, you hit the nail on the head there. And nobody's like that. That's why Kelsey said a couple weeks ago, and I keep going back to it, that we need someone with gutso. We need an alpha. And I definitely agree with him. Now, Bryce has been on an uptrend. Like I said, they've won the past 4 of their 5 series. But I feel like today they should have won that. And we're starting to get off to the point in the season now of where the wins in the series, they're getting them, but they're not really establishing, I feel like, themselves in the power ranking or mentally. And something else we've seen as well, I mean, you look at Kyle Schwarber. He's had an exceptional year. He's 3rd in home runs. He's got 10 home runs. I don't know if this is accurate with today, but he's playing great baseball as well. He's leading this team, I feel like, this Phillies roster. And him and Stott have really been my 2 favorites over the past month. I always talk about what have you done in the past month in baseball, because that's basically all that you're good for. Well, Kyle Schwarber's had a great year as a whole. The past month, he's been great. And he's 3rd in the MLB in home runs. Somebody else that I found pretty interesting on this list, Chris, Brent Rooker, because I know the Phillies potentially talked about trading for him last year. So it's almost like, oof, could you imagine if we had him in the rotation right now?
Yeah, well, you're not going to have 2 DHs because they already have too many DHs as it is. So
Bro.
Brent Rooker never made that much sense to me. And I'm pretty sure Schwarber did hit a home run today, so I think he's at 11, so he should be tied for second. I'm not sure
hell
if
yeah.
or Rowley did. But Schwarber's been fine. I think my biggest problem right now is they're just like Harper's just not Harper is not what Harper should be right now. Turner's playing well, but he's not playing what Turner should be right now. Like, these guys should be superstar players, and they're not playing like superstar players. And for you to be that top-tier team, you need your good players to play like they should be playing. And it sounds crazy because I think Trey's batting near 300, and he's been fine. But I think he maybe has 1 home run. Like, Harper, I think he's batting 245, which is okay, but he's only got like 6 home runs. Harper should be up in this list too. Harper should be all the way up somewhere around here because he is a superstar player. It's just frustrating right now. I just feel like they're just kind of sleepwalking and just, going through the motions. It really reminds me of how the Sixers were a couple years ago, where, like, you knew they're a playoff team, but, like, You weren't sure what they were going to do in the playoffs, and that's what I'm feeling like right now. Like, they're going to make the playoffs. What are they going to do in the playoffs? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I like how you put it, sleepwalking. Like they're just half-assing it. They really are just trying to get by, it feels like, until maybe they get to June or July. And it's like, that's not good enough. We want a team that's able to play baseball all year so that when those tough moments come up in October or November, you're prepared for it. Now, they are doing the right things overall. It could be worse, right? It could be worse. That's the one thing. It could be a lot worse. But, yeah, like you said, Bryce Harper not being on this list is kind of unacceptable. The way that he's paid, the way that he's able to perform, the way that he's able to lead, he should be on this list. You got to lead by example. And I think what's interesting too, Chris, is if Bryce Harper was on this list, I think you would maybe see a third guy on this list. I think it would give someone else some juice on that Phillies roster. They're definitely capable of having 3 guys on the top 10 in home runs when all is going well, when they're humming. The question is, who would that third guy be? I don't know. But I do think that, like you put it earlier, when they play well as a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's where it feels like right now. Like, they'll have one night where they can hit really well, and then one night where they can pitch really well. And, like, it just doesn't – they haven't gelled yet, and they might not gel yet. It's just one of those frustrating things. And I think another really frustrating thing for me is watching Alec Boehm play. Because, sure, he may have not had the best year last year towards the end of the year, but the guy still had 97 RBIs. He still had, I think, 16 or 17 home runs, maybe 20, somewhere around that range. He's nowhere near that player this year. Like, you're not even getting anywhere near that production right now. And it feels like, okay, you subtracted from that lineup this offseason instead of added. And the bullpen is it's not there. Like, Romano's starting to pitch a little bit better. Kerkering had a shaky outing today, but he got out of it. It's just one of those things where they're just not all there. And yeah, it's May, so it's early May. They have some time here, but I just don't see it coming and getting together unless there's a change. And it's really hard to say, okay, let's just fire Thompson because, yeah, he's a winning manager. But, you saw the Rangers do it today. Was it the Rangers? Somebody fired their manager today. That's a pretty good ball club. And I don't know if that is the goal here, but I think you got to shake something up. Maybe it's a position coach. Maybe it's you fire Kevin Long. Maybe you fire the pitching coach, Caleb Coughlin. I don't know. Like, what are you going to do right now? Are you just going to ride it out and see what happens, I guess? And, like, this offseason when you hit the panic button? I'm not sure.
It's interesting that you say that, too, because I do like the idea of get out Kevin Long. Like, right now is a good time to do it. The Rangers just did it, as Shardy and KJ are saying in the comments, too. Like, I think right now is a good time for the Phillies to just say, hey, let's experiment with something, because I want to show this team and this roster that as an owner and as a franchise, what you're doing right now is not enough. Like, everyone can see it. And what they're doing is, like Moose said, it's good, but it's not great.
Yep.
Like, I don't know when the last time we swept the team was. I want to say maybe was it the National Series a couple weeks ago?
I don't even remember. Maybe they swept them. I think they definitely swept the Rockies, like the first or second season. I think that was the first home series of the year.
Yeah, they haven't swept anybody in a while, regardless. And they have the day off tomorrow, but then they'll be on the road against Tampa Bay. And that's going to kind of be, like I've said in the past, too, interesting test for the Phillies to see how do you kind of respond. Yeah, they're going to probably win the series, but can they get the sweep? That would be a really encouraging thing, I think, for Philadelphia Phillies fans. Today, they almost came back from a 6-run deficit. Unfortunately, in 10 innings, it wasn't enough. But headed down to Tampa Bay, can you get the job done? That will be interesting to see. Chris, on your way out of here, do you think that the Phillies will get it done in Tampa Bay? Or are you nervous for this series?
I think they will. I think it's going to be almost like a home series. They're in the Yankees minor league single A ballpark this year, which is right next to Clearwater. So there's a lot of Phillies fans that live down there. I'm thinking that the Phillies fans are going to take over that stadium, and hopefully it gives them enough juice that, hey, we're on the road, but we also got support here. Let's go roll through this shitty Tampa Bay team and win.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. The Phillies need some juice for sure, especially getting on the road here. Chris, I want to thank you for joining me to talk some Phillies. Please let the people know where they can give you a follow as well, my man.
It's at Chaos Chris PHL on pretty much any platform. Sipping Sports Saturdays.
Sometimes Friday for us, drinking pod.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. A lot of times it's Friday for us, but hope to be back on there soon. I've been working a shit ton lately, but I'm also on the Phillies postgame show on 302 Birds a lot as well. So find me there. If not, whatever. Go Birds, go Phils. See ya.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you for joining me, brother. Have a good night. Sweet. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys think that the Philadelphia Phillies need to do to get out of this hole? They're definitely in one. But now is going to be a part of the show that I'm going to kind of quickly go through myself. This is why I have my own show, so that I can have some alone time with you guys. Oh my God, that's a scary thing. But all seriousness, I wanted to give some rookie comparisons of the first, second, and third round picks for our Philadelphia Eagles. Starting off with Ty Robinson. All right. I heard some people comparing this guy to J.J. Watt. I don't know if I'm ready to do all that yet, okay? That's a lot. But what I will say is that Ty Robinson is a great player. I think he reminds me a lot of Joey Bosa. The reason is he has a really good club move. I think he's quick. He's quick for a defensive lineman, especially. He's athletic, and he can use his hands to sort of bat passes away too. All that being said, I think that with his high motor, his great attitude, his experience in playing with Cam Jurgens, we know how that all went. I think that also combined with him being a huge threat in the run game, he was the perfect pick for the Eagles right here. Now, I know that Joey Bosa obviously plays end and he's going to play tackle, but in Vic Fangio's system, he might end up being an edge anyway. I mean, just the way that this dude shoves guys off of him. And like I said, he is quick. He's like a freaking bull in a china shop. When he gets off that line, he gets off that line, and there's no stopping him. Ty Robinson is a great player from Nebraska. Somebody that I think you Eagles fans are going to be buying his jersey a lot next year. I mean, for God's sake, when the dude was playing at his best, he had 15 tackles for a loss in 2024, which was the most at Nebraska. Since who? Ndamukong Suh. Wow. Yeah, that's an influential type of player right there. So I think comparing Ty Robinson to Joey Bosa is a great move. I like him a lot. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Marco Petro Designs on Instagram for the swap here. Please give him a follow. He killed it with this. I'm not sure what number Robinson is wearing. I forget exactly. Let me know in the comments if you guys know, but it's going to be fun to see this kid play. I got a lot of faith in him for a long time, and we're going to see how he does. Moving on to my next one, Moosey. Thank you for joining, man. I appreciate you hanging out in here. Vanilla Gorilla, Shardy's calling him. I like that a lot. Third member of the exciting. Oh, he's going to be an exciting white for sure, Shardy. Get ready. But my next player to compare on the rookies, Andrew Makuba. Makuba reminds me a lot of Julian Blackmon. I just feel like they're both a versatile type of safety. The way that they play is very ball hawk, athletically gifted. They're not the biggest, tallest guy, but they're going to make up for it in the ground that they can cover. So when you see this guy backtrack, when you see this guy playing coverage, he's like a really, really good free safety. That's where he's going to excel. He can undercut you, and he can lay a hit when he needs to, but he's not, I would say, strong safety. Not somebody that you're going to want to play in the box consistently. I mean, maybe Vic Fangio will kind of experiment with that. But I really think where this dude excels is in coverage. He can jump really well. He plays out of his size, and he's a good dude. So I think Andrew Makuba, I would really compare to Colts safety Julian Blackmon, somebody that is also a little bit undersized, but plays out of his size with his heart. I think Andrew Makuba is going to do the same thing for a long time for Philadelphia Eagles players. And as I know, I talked about with KJ in the past, we both love this. He went to Clemson for a little bit. So as he was there, that was pretty cool to see that he kind of has the same experience and pedigree as someone that we all know in Brian freaking Dawkins. So all in all, I think Andrew Makuba was a great pick. I know some of us Eagles fans were looking at Xavier Watts from Notre Dame, or who's the guy from Penn State? It's going to come to me in a second. Hold on. I'll take a sip of Gatorade while I think of it. Do I have his name written up there? I don't. Xavier Watts was the one I remember, and then there's a safety from Penn State who I know we were talking about drafting as well. Either of them I thought was who we were going to take, and then they took Makuba. Then I watched Makuba's tape, and I was like, wow, Makuba's going to be a really good player. Pass coverage, and the Eagles needed an athletic safety that could kind of step up in the role of where C.J. Gardner-Johnson left, right? They need somebody that can come in and say, hey, you need that ball hawk. You need that guy who can kind of come in and play with the certain type of swagger. Makuba's all that. So awesome pick here by Howie. If I had to grade each one, thank you, Shardy. I appreciate you letting me know. Ty Robinson is going to be wearing 95. I might have to cop that jersey myself. 95 is a pretty freaking cool number. Last guy to wear it, I think I did have a Michael Kendricks jersey back in the day. But if I had to grade the Ty Robinson pick, I'm giving the Ty Robinson pick an A-. I really don't think, actually, fuck it. I'm giving the Ty Robinson pick a A+. I do not think that there was a better pick there. He probably called up Cam Jurgens and said, hey, what do you know about this guy? Tell me everything. And he said, yeah, practice, he brings it. Dog, bring him in. Andrew Makuba. I would give the Makuba pick probably a B+ for now. We do not know how this is going to shake out. I think Makuba was purely picked because he led the SEC with 5 interceptions in 2024. Who also led the NFL with interceptions last year and was one of the best ball hawks, if not the best ball hawk in the NFL? C.J. Gardner-Johnson. That's his replacement. That's who the Eagles are looking to add. So I'd give an A- for Andrew Makuba. And next up, last but not least, Jahad Campbell, man. I'm comparing Jahad Campbell to C.J. Mosley. I think C.J. Mosley is one of the most, especially when he first came in the league, if not the most versatile athletic linebacker there is. You want to talk about pass coverage for an off-ball linebacker? He can do it. You want to talk about hitting? He can do that. You want to talk about run game? He can do it. Anything and everything this dude can do. But all in all, what does he do best? Something that the Eagles struggled with at the beginning of last year. Nobody talks about it because they got one of these, right? Woohoo! We got a Lombardi, yeah! We're not going to talk about how we sucked at tackling at the beginning of last year. Watch. It's going to become a thing again. You're going to have a little bit of a Super Bowl slump. They're going to be a little bit asleep. It'll get better. But one thing that they did struggle at for the first 3 or 4 games, I don't know if you guys remember, I remember because I did the Eagles postgame show, was they were not good at tackling, and they really had to reset. Jahad Campbell had 117 tackles in 2024. I think he's the most natural off-ball linebacker in the draft. He's definitely the best linebacker in the draft. The number 9 overall prospect for me, and Howie Roseman snagged him at pick 31. You want to talk about value? Woo! That's some value, man. But like a Pokemon evolution, like I said earlier, I really think that Jahad Campbell is going to blossom into a great football player, just like C.J. Mosley has, where he can kind of do all the different things that Vic Fangio is going to ask him to do. This pick, I would give an A++++. I wish that I could give that, but I would give an A++++. And the rookie numbers will be Jahad Campbell will be wearing number 30. Makuba looking to show some love to Kobe with number 24. And Kyle McCord will be rocking 19 from South Jersey. And last but not least, as Shardy already pointed out, Ty Robinson will be rocking 95. But Moving on now to our next segment. This is something I've been waiting to debate with my guy KJ McCoy for a while now. So we originally had this idea on Sippin' Sports. Yesterday, we talked about it a little bit, and I was like, oh, we need to talk about this for a show. So I'm going to bring my guest on back here and let him take his list first. But KJ McCoy, let me hear your favorite Philly sports uniforms in order, or, you don't have to give me a top 5, but maybe a top 3 if you can.
Okay. I could probably do a top 5. Do we want to include like the union in this, or?
Dude, include whoever you want, and if you want to
cool.
do a top 5,
Okay.
by all means, you're not going to
cool.
offend me.
So I'm gonna go with, and this is in not like I'm gonna do in reverse order because I tend to really struggle with it doing like the other way. So I'm just gonna do it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So number 1. I'm going with, and even though I was saying that I'm more excited for the black alternate Sixers jerseys, it probably has to be the Kelly Green Eagles is number 1, probably. So I got to go with that. Just the popularity of it. So many people love it, like Eagles fans do. So I probably have to go with that. Number 2, I'm going to have to go with, now this is just my opinion, but I know people are probably going to crucify me for this. But I'm gonna go with the black Sixers jerseys, the Iverson era jerseys. I think those are number 2. I just think they're so clean. And if they do make these return, which it seems like 99% sure they're gonna make these return this season, it's gonna be awesome. And I will definitely be buying like at least 1, maybe 2, if I'm greedy. So we'll see.
Maybe 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, maybe 5, maybe 6. We'll see. 3, I gotta go with the powder blue Phillies jerseys. I gotta go with those. And thank God they brought them back a couple of years ago. They brought them back pretty early, which was cool. And they used to have the red ones as well, which I actually like as well. So I'm actually gonna put the retro ones. Let me get back to the red retro ones. I was gonna put Union jersey, but I'm not gonna put them. Yeah, not yet.
Oh, see that? Yeah. I'm ready for anything, man.
Yes. Oh wow, that was clutch. Oh my gosh, that was clutch, Dalt. Wow, you got Uncle Larry right there. They called him Uncle Larry. That was like his alter ego Andrew McCutcheon had. So I will put that jersey at number 5, but I probably, or actually, yeah, I'll put it at 5 because I'll put it 4. I'm gonna put just the 1970s Flyers jerseys. I think with the burnt orange, I love how they brought back the burnt orange recently. I love how they brought it back. I don't really like the orange cone color they had for a little while. They had with like Claude Giroux. They had with like Wayne Simmons. I was never really a fan of that jersey, and just the color just honestly just rubbed me the wrong way. I never liked wearing it. I was like, oh, this is just weird to wear this. But when they got the burnt orange back recently, I was like all on board. I was like, yes. So that's a great jersey. I'd probably say like the one that like Bobby Clark wore, Bernie Parent, those jerseys were pretty sweet. And I mean, the Flyers have one of the coolest logos. So that's a cool thing. But especially when you got the burnt orange, I think it really like makes it pop out in general. It makes it really pop out like the Flyers logo. Because when you had the other orange, it just seemed bland. I mean, that was just my opinion. I just thought it seemed bland. So, but yeah, no, it looks more like it used to. Not as good, but I mean, I do think the font on the back of on the side of the where the numbers are that they have now, I think what they used to have was a little better. I mean, where they had the burnt orange and then you had the outline of the black. I felt like that was really cool. So now they just have the black number by itself, no outline, no nothing. So that's kind of So that's why I'm probably going to say 4 is that jersey. And then number 5, as I said before, is the Uncle Larry era jerseys that they had when we had Majestic. We had the Majestic jerseys. I would love to see them bring these back. I actually happen to have one of them. They did like some Cooperstown Nike, kind of like a reverse retro kind of thing. But they don't actually have them as like a real jersey that's like in the set listing of all the like in the vault of jerseys that we have right now. So they're not in the lineup for the jersey lineup, I guess you can say, but I would love to see them bring these back. So maybe in a couple of years we'll see them bring it back. But I think you got to go with the Kelly Green.
Yeah, the Kelly green is an
And if anybody says this horrible answer, and I remember I was giving Tom's crap for this answer. If you say the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets jersey, I might jump out this window. I swear. No, I don't want to hear or see any comments saying, "Oh, the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets jerseys are goated." I don't want to see that. Nope. Oh wait, someone did say it. Oh my God, I'm jumping out the window now. Jesus. Oh my God. I'm not actually jump out the window, so don't think that. Don't start
I
calling the
get it
police
though.
or
I think
anything.
that they're only playing. I hope. But I get it.
It
Yeah,
better
those
be.
Frankfurt Yellow Jackets.
I
That's
hate those
apparently the
jerseys.
rumor too for their City Connect uniforms. If that's the case, God bless us all because that's going to be screwed.
I
But
promise you I will not be buying that.
yeah, but moving on now into mine. So I'll go from the back to the top. Uncle Larry, same thing. These Phillies uniforms, I think, don't get enough appreciation as they should. So number 5 for me, I would say, is the old school Phillies maroon uniforms. Number 4, the 1996 Brian Dawkins Eagles word mark. There was something about this Kelly green. I don't know what it was, but it just reflected better.
Yeah,
It hit better off the jersey. It looked better in the sunshine. So this specific jersey, shout out to Mitchell and Ness for perfectly recreating it, is my number 4 Philadelphia jersey of all time. Number 3, I also would have to go with the black Sixers jersey, the Iverson. There's just something about it. It's so iconic. It speaks volumes of what it means to be a Philadelphian. It has attitude. It has passion. It has, the look to it. We always talk about logo minimalism and how it's not a great thing, how so many brands are just working towards less and less. This is back when logos meant something. So this uniform will always be an all-time classic in my mind. My number 3 uniform is the black Sixers. And number 2 for me, the powder blue Philadelphia Phillies uniform. This one's grown on me. It's got to be the one with the Fanatic patch on the side, too. I got to figure out how to get that Fanatic patch for my jersey. But that one with the old school Fanatic patch where they did the number on the side and the helmet goes with it. They have the maroon to complement it. There's nothing like a powder blue Philadelphia Phillies jersey. It's, I think, one of the best jerseys in all of baseball and and all of Philly sports, honestly. So all in all, my number 1 jersey leading up to the top, obviously, it's the Kelly green. I mean, I was nursed on Kelly green jerseys, just like baby food. This is what we grew up on, right? I always say I came out of the womb an Eagles fan. If I would have came out of the womb in any jersey, it probably would have been a Kelly green one of some sort. Maybe Reggie White, maybe somebody else. But if you want to talk about Eagles fans and you look that guy up in the dictionary, oh, that Eagles fan, or you want to talk about what is the ultimate jersey you can wear, it has always been and it will always be the Kelly green jerseys. Always going to be a staple in Philly sports. So once again, to run through it really quickly, and then I'm going to get KJ's feedback on it. My top 5 jerseys in all of Philly sports. Number 5, I got Andrew McCutchen in the Philadelphia Phillies maroon throwbacks. Number 4, I got the 1996 throwbacks. Shout out to Mitchell and Ness for killing it on these and doing them perfectly. Number 3, I got the iconic Sixers black throwbacks like the 2000s when Allen Iverson used to rock them. Number 2, powder blue Philadelphia Phillies, just a staple of Philadelphia sports and what it means to be a Philly. And number 1, of course, last but not least, the Kelly green Eagles jerseys. What do you guys agree with? What do you guys disagree with? Let me know in the comments. Mac, what do you think of my list?
I like it. Not too bad at all. Not too shabby. I mean, we both went with the Kelly greens as number 1, so that was good. And I think it definitely has to be number 1. It just has to be. But yeah, I mean, number 2 is really a jump ball, I feel like. I mean, I don't think it's a right or wrong answer, either picking the black jerseys that Iverson really wore. And I mean, like the Iverson era back in the 2000s. Then obviously the powder blue Phillies jerseys. I mean, those were awesome. They still are awesome when we see them rock them. And if anybody has, I mean, it's not a retro jersey. If anybody has the jersey that is the city uniforms now on their list, you are crazy and you are a psycho So, but yeah, I really hope that they do not bring those blue and yellow jerseys ever back ever again. I hate those jerseys. Yeah, I know he was kidding, but I think Joey Havens was actually dead serious. He actually likes them somehow. So that's just
Havens out here busting your balls.
A disgrace.
But all in all, let us know in the comments, what are your guys' top 5 Philly sports uniforms? Or if you want to do your top 3, if that's more convenient for you, let me know your top 3 Philly uniforms in order. I'm going to do mine just one more time so I can get a TikTok clip of it. And then if you want to give me your top 3 one more time quickly, we can get a TikTok clip of that too. My top 5 Philly sports uniforms. Got to get my clickbait in there. Sorry. Number 5, the maroon. Oh, sorry. Number 5, the maroon Philadelphia Phillies throwbacks. Number 4, the 1996 Eagles midnight green that just hit a different way in the sunlight. Shout out to Mitchell and Ness for that. Number 3, and as KJ said, this is sort of a jump ball for me, 3 and 2. I think it's going to be for a lot of Phillies fans. But back when logos meant something, minimalism wasn't a thing. I got the throwback Sixers uniforms. Shout out to Allen Iverson for donning that uniform for such a long time, really embodying what it means to be a Philadelphia 76er. 2 for me is the powder blue Philadelphia Phillies. And last but not least, of course, sitting in this Kelly Green room, it's going to be the Kelly Green Eagles uniforms. I mean, come on. I would wear this to my wedding if I was allowed one day. I think every man would. It just speaks volumes of what we mean, Philadelphia fans. But KJ, let me hear your top 3 one more time, my man.
So top 3, number 3, we got the Phillies powder blue. That's number 3. As you can see, Bryce Harper wearing number 3. And then another number 3 is at number 2, actually, and that is the Sixers black uniforms from the 2000s, which I call the Iverson era jersey. I mean, he put it on the map for us. He really did. And then number 1, you got to go with the Kelly Green jerseys. That really, I mean, if you think about it, who really donned them the best was like Randall Cunningham, Reggie White, Jerome Brown. Those guys really put those jerseys that made us proud as Eagles fans. I mean, like talking to my dad about it, like he said many times, like just like people rocking the Randall jerseys, the Jerome Brown, the Reggie White jerseys. Those were the jerseys that people rocked really back then. So, I mean, bringing them back was such a great idea by the Eagles to really listen to the fans and really like know that they actually that their opinion matters. And I mean, bringing those jerseys back was a great marketing and honestly an amazing idea. So, I mean, shout out to them for sure. So that was awesome. But yeah, that's my list. And let me know if you like it. Go Birds, go Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, all the teams.
I love it. I thought it was a great list. Once again, let us know who is your guys in your comments. That's all we got for you guys tonight. I want to thank KJ McCoy for hopping on here with me as a guest. Let me know his favorite Philly sports uniforms. KJ, do you have anything you want to say on the way out? If not, please let the people know where they can give you a follow.
So, yeah, I don't have too much to say. I appreciate you guys joining in, and I hope you guys are liking Dalt's show. I mean, I like it. I always love watching it on Sunday nights, and always blessed to say, like, hey, maybe I get a shot to go on, and tonight was a night. So that's a cool thing. But, yeah, you can follow me on TikTok at official KJ McCoy, but also go subscribe to 302 Birds on YouTube and go on all the platforms and follow us on there because I'd be doing a lot of things with 302 Birds. Obviously, I'm part of the team. So, I mean, I'm on there a lot. So just know that, like, that's why I haven't really been doing too much content on my TikTok. It's because I've been busy. So, I mean, I've just been doing a lot of things, juggling a lot of things. So that's what's been going on, and appreciate the love, guys. So go Phils.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for jumping on here. Thank you for being a big part of what we do. We could not do it without you. As KJ also alluded to, we had a great event a couple weeks ago. That was a ton of fun. So 302 Birds is really on the up and up, and I'm really proud of what we're doing here. I'm proud of every single person and what they bring to the table. Proud of Mac, proud of everybody. So thank you for being here, Mac, and everybody. Of course, my name is Dalton Holland, and as always, I appreciate your input. See you guys next Sunday.
Yeah! Let's go, Phillies! Woo!
KJ and I out here.
You are now listening to the Appreciate Your Input podcast with